A very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining our Homeopathy 24/7 podcast. We are going to be speaking to an array of international guests who will share their knowledge and experiences of homeopathy with you. We will discuss all types of subjects such as remedies, symptoms, and stories of health. No matter where you are with your homeopathic journey, we aim to inspire you on your quest to natural health and living. The podcast is brought to you by Greensmith, the founder of Homeopathy 24/7, which is a global platform connecting you with a homeopath wherever you are in the world, 24 hours a day. So let's get started with today's chat. Please welcome Mary Greensmith.
Hello, thank you for joining me today. It's so lovely to see you here, and I'm really excited about today because I thought it was a really good opportunity just to talk about choice, about the choices that we have and the choices that sometimes we're too fearful to make, and also the consequence of choice and what that means. Now, if you're here listening to me, it probably means that you are an advocate of homeopathy. You enjoy having a health choice. You enjoy having a choice besides mainstream medicine. It means that you enjoy having a choice with the way that you bring up your children, and that you enjoy having a choice with the way that you live your life. So it's interesting to start talking about what are the things that actually stop us from moving forward. Where do we get stuck and why do we get stuck? And it's not really surprising that we have this sometimes stuckness, because right from when we're born, we are put into groups. We have our home group, we have a school group, we have a church group, we have other evening groups that we might join. And all of those groups have rules. And we forget that those rules are not to help us be our best self. They are rules to help the group work in the most harmonious way. And that's fair enough. You know, if we went around treating our family disrespectfully, if we broke all of the rules at school, if everybody did that, then it wouldn't be a nice place to be. So for the group to function in the best possible way, it has guidelines and rules that you are expected to follow. Now, somewhere along the way, we believe these rules are for our benefit. They're for our health. They're for our safety. They are to help us be the best person. But is this where our own mind starts creating its own interpretations? Because are these rules really meant to help us be our best selves? Or are they just there, as I said, just to help the running of the group? Now, of course, as a parent, it makes sense that we try and keep our children as safe as possible. But where do we draw the line? Where do we actually say, well, actually, I need you to make mistakes and I need you to know how to get out of it. I need you to experiment. I need you to fail. I need you to get things wrong in order to survive this world and create the life that is important for you. It strikes me that a lot of children are very fearful of making mistakes. They're fearful of the consequence of getting things wrong. And to me, that's a shame. And I would like to find ways in order to explore education and development and experimentation, because that's how I see my life now. I always take the point of view, it doesn't matter if I get it wrong. It doesn't matter if I fail, because I will do it differently next time and I will learn and I will do it better next time. But I won't change the way I do something unless it fails. How many times do you say to yourself, oh, I could have that bit of software, but it means changing and learning a new thing. And if this one works, then I can't really, put in the time and effort and energy to learn something new. And that fear of it not just being right first time is quite big, isn't it? When we try something, we expect to be good at it first time, and we forget that we have to try and try and try and do things in order to get it right, in order to learn a new skill, in order to grow, in order to develop and to reach our goals. I often say that we can have anything in this world, in this life, as long as we keep trying, as long as we keep experimenting, as long as we learn everything that we need to learn in order to get there. But sometimes things stop us learning. Sometimes things stop us progressing. Sometimes things stop us moving forward. What is that something? Now, quite often it might be society. Sometimes it might be family. Sometimes it might be financial circumstances. Sometimes it might be confidence or lack of confidence of the ability to learn something new. So, first of all, identifying those factors that might be holding you back might actually help you move forward. Understanding that you might have been told something in your earlier years that is stopping you going to learn a new skill. Or it perhaps is deemed unsafe. It's much safer to stay in the industry that you're in rather than to go out and branch out and do new things. Now, I don't really have much problem with trying new things. I'm very much an experimenter and I love to try new things and I don't mind failing. In fact, I actually say that there's no such thing as failing. It's about succeeding or learning, because if I get it wrong, I learn from it and I do it differently next time. But what also really helped me was the feeling of it's not forever. If it doesn't work out, I can go and do something else. There is enough opportunity for me in this world to actually change direction should I need to. And with the knowledge that whatever route I take is okay, because I'm going to learn what is needed after that. So whichever decision I make, it's not going to be a wrong decision. It's going to be a right decision because it's going to teach me something that I need to know in order to move forward to the next stage of my life. And using what I've already learned is really important. And it just shows you why it was so important for me to go through those years doing what I did in order to do what I do now. So what is it in your life that you could be using now to do the things that you love doing? And I think that is something as well that quite often we forget. We should be enjoying every day. There must be something in every day that really makes you smile and laugh, because smiling and laughing is so important for your health. I always say that we have got to get a number of things right. Unfortunately, homeopathy won't mend all ills. We have got to put the right food into our bodies. If we don't have the right fuel for our bodies won't function correctly. We have got to manage our stressful situations. And by understanding our fears, understanding our rules, understanding the rules by which we live, can help free up your emotional ties, or ties that are holding you down, that are making things difficult for you to move forward. So anxiety and stress and overwhelm all come when we put boundaries up, or somebody else puts boundaries up, and we've got to do things by a certain time, or do it a certain way, or what will people think of us? If we can, I wanted to say abolish those, but I better not say abolish those rules. Let's say if we can tone those boundaries down, if we can make them a little more permeable, if we can understand them to be hurdles that we need to actually learn to overcome, then maybe that will help us achieve what we want to achieve and do what we need to do to be our very best selves. So as well as the food, the fuel that we're putting into our bodies, and looking after our mindset, and of course, homeopathy and using things that work with your whole system rather than against it, we have the best opportunity to be our best selves. And at any stage in our life, we can start thinking about creating our own group and creating the group when we make the rules, that actually those rules do benefit us and not other groups. So for instance, if we have a rule that says, okay, I know that I need to smile and laugh at least half an hour, at least 3 times a day, every single day. I need to enjoy every single day. What is it that I am going to put into my life so that I can achieve that? And then everybody else who influences you has to believe that as well. They have to be on your side. They have to understand the importance of having a joyful life. They also have to enjoy, and they have to appreciate that you're going to eat what your body needs in order to function properly. So if at the moment you're working every hour God sends and you have to nip into the supermarket and buy ready meals that you know are really high in sugar and salt and not doing your body any good, which bits needs to change? Because something needs to change, because otherwise you're not looking after yourself first and foremost. And when you can look after yourself, it means that also you can put these values and help your family learn these values and help your children learn these values so that they can make good or better choices further down the road. So understanding the fuel that goes into your body, understanding how important your mindset is, allows you to be a freer person, allows you to be a more healthy person, and allows you to start living your very best life. Now, some choices you make are going to upset some people. You cannot please everybody. So how many of you out there are people pleasers? How many of you out there want to be liked by everybody you speak to, want to be appreciated, and want to make sure that they think good of you? Now, it wasn't your parents' fault that this was a mainstay of growing up. You must do this because what will people think of you? How often have you heard that? But it's okay for people not to understand why you do what you do. It's okay for people not to understand why you live where you live or do the work that you do. It's okay. As long as they can appreciate that you are living by your values, the values that you have made for your group, then that is important. And if not, maybe it's that understanding that they have their group with their rules and you have your group with your rules. And you can interact on the edges, but you are not going to be influenced by their thoughts or their thinking. Now, actually, it was homeopathy that really helped me understand that actually what I thought other people were thinking didn't have to be. So let me say that a different way. Often I would think, oh, such and such, my mum, what would she think? Oh my goodness, she must be thinking this. And quite often I was making up what I thought that she was thinking. And it wasn't just my mum, it was my husband and my children and the people I interacted with, and my siblings and my friends and all sorts of things. I was putting in my mind what I thought they would think. And homeopathy actually helped me realize it wasn't up to me. What they thought was their issue, and what I thought was my issue. And what I thought about them, I can change. But what they think about me is not my responsibility to change. So understanding what was important for my responsibility was a really important growth marker for me, to allow me to be set free, to allow me to go and live my very best life, to do what I want to do, to live how I want to live. And now I find myself surrounded by people who don't want to know what I do for a living. I found myself surrounded by other people who do. I found myself surrounded by a whole mixture of people. But what brings them together is the fact that they have chosen to live on an island where interacting with different personalities is very, very important, and you have to be allowing. And I think the word allowing opens up so much, doesn't it? Because I need people to allow me to live the life that I want to live, but also I have to be allowing for them, for how they want to live their life. And that is okay, because I understand its meaning for me. So therefore, I understand that I don't have to approve of everything that they do or the way that they live their lives. It's okay, because it's their choice. And aren't we lucky to have a choice? But what I love about being born in this day and age, where we've got the internet, where we've got this ability to connect with people who believe the same sorts of things as I do, means that we can really create our own group. We can be surrounded by people who believe the same sorts of things as we believe. We don't have to be on our own. And I did feel for many, many years that I was different, that I was different than everybody else. But now I know I'm not different. I just hadn't found my tribe. And now I interact so much with my tribe, with my people, that sometimes I forget that the whole world isn't my tribe, isn't my group, isn't who I choose to interact with. And there is a world outside of that. So how big can your group really be? It's quite amazing in this world. Who we talk to, who we are influenced by, we can choose. We can choose which bits we want to believe. We can take the rules that we want to take, and we can start living by them. And if we are not fearful of failure, if we love the opportunity to experiment and get things wrong and try again and experiment again and get things wrong again and try again and this time do it differently and this time make it work, it makes our life so much more worthwhile. So with the attitude that nothing can possibly go wrong because everything's going to be a learning curve, I can start really enjoying every aspect of work, home, social time, playing, and really having a great life. What is it that you need to change to make this happen for you and your family? What values do you want to bring into your group? What rules are you going to have for your special group that allows you to flourish in your world? What is it that you really hate? And what needs to be done to change it, to allow you never to work again? Because when you do what you love doing, it's not like work. It's just an opportunity to do more of what you love with people who love it too. That's why I love being a homeopath. That's why I love having groups of people that I can interact with. That's why I love mixing with people who love to grow their own food, who love to do their own thing, who love to homeschool, and who love to just separate themselves from all of the rules and decide whether those rules are right for them. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't this wise when I first had children. And in the UK, when I first expressed the desire to take my children away and around Europe in a camper van for a year, I was told that it wasn't possible. I was told that it was against the law. I was told that no, you can't do this. Luckily, I did it anyway. And whilst I was out, I met hundreds of people that were doing it. But in those days, I didn't have the internet and I had no idea there was a society of people that were out there living their best life at that time. Now, as it happened, we were away for a year and we came back. We went back into the system and tried again. And that has been my life for quite a few years, trying things, coming back, trying things, coming back. Having met you, having met such a lovely group of people where homeschooling is accepted, where homeschooling is just part of life, and you've got a community where you can homeschool together, is such an eye-opener. And I just wish I had had that insight that all those years ago, 30 years ago now. But I don't live on those regrets. I love the fact that I didn't do what I was told for a year, and I went away and I taught my children, and I really enjoyed that time and that connection. And now I'm enjoying helping teach some of my grandchildren as well. And that's a great opportunity and I love it. But I have to thank you for that, because you have shown me that it doesn't have to be strange. What happens in the US is quite different than what happens in the UK, but it doesn't matter, because all we need is the idea to be inspired. All we need is the opportunity to realize it doesn't have to be this way. What do we need to do to change it? And as I mentioned before, sometimes I forget that the whole world doesn't know about homeopathy. Sometimes I forget that not everybody understands that they do have a health choice, they do have a medicinal choice, and they can use other things besides mainstream medicine, and quite often alongside mainstream medicine. But mainstream medicine isn't everything, and certainly it doesn't hold all of the answers. So, who can you share the opportunity of choice with? Who can you share the opportunity of doing whatever it is that makes you flourish in this world? Because there are a lot of things wrong with this world at the moment, but with a lot more inspiration, passion, and desire, we can spread the word that actually you can do the things that you want to do, even within the environment that we have got. We have got to make our environment a much better place. We have that opportunity now because we do have the internet, and because we can group together in groups and inspire each other and let other people learn that there are different ways to do things. I am so excited because I feel that homeopathy is just on the verge of a breakthrough. Do I feel that because I talk to people about homeopathy all the time? Or do I feel that because there are certain things coming through that are saying this is very close to proof of why homeopathy works? And for me, it just means that many more people are not going to have the argument, well, it's not proven, why would you want to do that? This means that we've got a great opportunity to share some great information. And what we need to be doing is putting together the proof in a format that everybody can understand. But remember, everybody's got a choice. They can choose not to like it. They can choose not to use it. And we are okay with that. As long as everybody that wants a choice realizes there is a choice. That is the great thing, that we can help inspire people and help move it around the world and get more people talking about the choice in life. I hope that you enjoyed this week, just this opportunity to talk between ourselves about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we want to go with it. I hope it's been inspiring to think about what you would like to do next. Now, next week, I will be talking to you about metaphysical anatomy. I'll be looking at this book because it's quite inspiring, by Yvette Rose, and we'll be looking at some of the emotional background to physical symptoms. And it just kind of runs with what we believe with homeopathic prescribing. So I think it's well worth having a look at this book and just going through some of the reasons why some of the physical symptoms you might be experiencing develop because of what has gone on emotionally or how you feel about something. I look forward to going through that with you next week. Take care. I do hope you've enjoyed these episodes, and I do hope you can subscribe to our channels. Now, there are various ways for you to listen to our podcast or watch it on video on YouTube. So whether it's iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube, please do subscribe and please do leave us a review. If you leave us a review on these platforms, then more people will see our podcast. We just want more people to share the joy of homeopathy. It's a choice that everybody should know about. Please do everything you can to help us help more people.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode and look forward to listening to our next one. Please don't forget to follow our podcast on your chosen channel, and please do leave us a review so we can continue to share homeopathy with as many people as possible. If you do have any questions, please do reach out to us on any of our social platforms mentioned in the show notes. We at Homeopathy 24/7 hope to empower you on your natural health journey.